friends, this is Christina, aka Wellwithkl, and I'm so excited to be sharing this workout today. Today is going to be train like an angel, and the reason that I felt it was so fitting, one was really based on my outfit. I wanted to wear all white. I have this top from Aerie, and I haven't had a chance to wear it, so here we are. But also, as you can see, I'm sitting. We got the posture out and we're leaving some wings here. And I think it's so important to start off that posture is such a vital part of your movement. So as you're going through these moves, as we're working out together, I want you to really think of keeping everything long, stretching out towards the sky, elongating those wings out to the sides as well, and really making sure that you're keeping all of that concentration in your core. For the most part, we are going to be on the mat, and so all you need is going to be our equipment, which is going to be, of course, the mat, like I mentioned, some bands if you have them, and then I have this 4-pound, it's like a beanbag weight. So, hope we're feeling good, hope we're feeling energized and ready. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, we're going full blast into our side planks. And so this is assuming that you already did a stretch beforehand. We're gonna just get those obliques warmed up. I want you to either be on your full arm or on that elbow, making sure you have that slight triangle underneath your arm and your body. We got an enhancement here for your modification. So if you wanna keep it up and then lift the leg when we're on that high point, that is an option. Otherwise, we're just going with the hips. Quick transition here, we're going to go into our clamshells. So same idea, we have that elbow on the ground this time. And what we're going to do is press out and in. Now, if you have that sandbag weight, you can put this in between. If not, if you're using a regular dumbbell, then you can just press with your hand into the leg. Same effect. This one just makes it to where you have that hand for added support. But otherwise, you're getting the same work, really pushing into those glutes, but also a little bit into those thighs. Remember I said this wasn't for the weak. I warned y'all, but it's okay. We're still gonna keep going. The last movement on this side is just gonna be our single leg pulses. So we're doing a kick up motion and we're just gonna keep it very tight. And then from there, we're switching to the other side. Now we're still doing the same thing, but you have this option to add the arm extension as well. Honestly, this is just gonna make you have to hold it a little bit longer and then go right back into the move. But if you wanna stick to the same modification we had before, where we do the kick at that high point, you have that option. Nothing new here, we're going back to those clamshells with that supported weight. And notice the adjustment I just made, making sure we have that wide stance with the arm. That's going to give us the most grounding and support. Bringing that leg right back out, we're gonna do those pulses again, just up and down, up and down. You can ditch the weight if you'd like, or you can still keep it pressed. Just going light on this, making sure we have that toe pointed as well, same thing like before. Getting into our next move, we're gonna come to a centralized position and we're gonna get into our crunches. So what I want you to do is really press into those feet. Your booty and the feet are the main grounding points here. And then once you get on the ground, your back and shoulders. Coming up into our sit-up, where we have that weight in hand. I like the soft one for this, honestly, it just feels good. But the heavy one with the normal typical weight is really gonna get you pressing your hands in, adding even more stability there. If you want to add some difficulty here, you can bring those legs to tabletop. We're going to keep them up and then press them out. So instead of pressing all the way down with the feet, we're going to keep them lifted. Honestly, I couldn't do this for too long, but it was a fun little challenge. So if you want to take it today, go for it. All right, we're about to wrap this one up. We're gonna come all the way down. And from here, what we're gonna do is press into the legs. So what I want you to do is have those hands on the mat. We're gonna tap down with single legs. And it's a slight ding with the toes. You're not staying too long on the ground there. And what you can also do is keep those hands above head as well. This adding even more stability and added challenge. But hands on the ground is okay as well. It's only just adding a little bit with the arms, so it does make a big difference there. Last few here, we're gonna be switching into our quick little break. So it's just where you can make sure those legs aren't getting tense. If you gotta rotate, move, flow, whatever it is. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're back into it. So we're gonna go into our single leg presses. This is where we're gonna have those hands supported. We're gonna slightly lift that back. So we're not keeping it on the ground here. And the reason is I want you to really go into the core with this move. So we're just pressing into that one leg. We have the band on still. If it feels like too much, which it shouldn't, but if it does, just go ahead and take it off. But we're gonna switch over and we're gonna do the same type of motion, keeping it on the same leg and just going up and down, up and down. So kind of bouncing into it, but still lifting the chest so that way we're not just flat. New move for you. This is going to be our tap cross. So we're basically going with the left leg or the right leg, for example, taking it towards that other side and using that band to press into. So think of it as if you're doing some crosses, and what that's going to allow you to do is work into the obliques, a little bit of the inner and outer thigh as well, but then really just lengthening through the spine, making sure those hands are pressed down, elbows are down as well. We're keeping that strong supported stature with our upper body as well. From here, we got a quick switch. We're gonna go from those crosses to straight out. So we're just gonna go all the way out and bring it back in. We're pointing and flexing. We're starting on a single leg. So we're gonna do it with the right leg on this side. We're gonna switch it over and do the same thing on the left side. It's just going in and out and in. Not over flexing that knee, making sure it's subtle, but we are gonna switch over to our next move from here, going on to the other side. So like I said, same exact things we were already doing. So first starting with those taps, and then we're going to switch back over into those presses. From here, we're adding a new move. This is gonna be our single leg down and up. So that's not the right term at all. But basically, we're gonna bring that leg all the way up and then we're gonna come all the way down with it. Now, what I want you to do is really be pressing into the hips here. So it's less on the upper part of the back and lower part is really where we're focusing. That's gonna give you that good grounding to use that leg up and down. Same thing on the other side. We're going to switch that leg and we're just going with the up and down. I want you to try and make sure that leg is straight. If you need, you can also use your hands to support you by grabbing the other leg, whether that's right below the knee or above on the calf. I want you to avoid the actual fold of your knee. So we have a transition here. I want you to make sure you're ready. We're going to be coming up. Depending on where you're getting set up, I want you to use the couch, maybe if you have a bench, just something you can press into. We are going to get into some arabesque press. Now, obviously, you can see what that looks like. The first thing is that you're going to be pressing into those hands with that leg. We're going on a straight line. So I want you to think that we're going out towards the corner. We're going to drag the leg around while it's bent and then press it out all the way to the opposite corner. So as you see, we're just going diagonal, keeping everything straight in front of us towards our hands. So you're not flopping over, bending, the hips aren't moving, just keeping everything where it is. If you want to progress it, you can bring the arm out with you as well. But honestly, same effect by just keeping everything pressed with the couch. This is the moment where you might start to question, Christina, what in the actual hell do you have me doing right now? And I'll tell you, friend, we're working, okay? We're doing Pilates moves on our couch. Do you know what that is? Innovation that excites. Word to me, son. Same thing on the other side. We're gonna be pressing with the left this time. And notice how my knee and my leg are trying to go upwards, and now I'm working to keep it on that straight line. Yep, you see it? You see it? Exactly. So trying to keep everything in line. I want you to think that there's kind of like a box holding you in between. So right where that adjustment was, that's where we're holding it. Straight out and straight in. And it felt a little awkward, honestly, when I flipped it. So that's why I'm like struggling. But I want you to just keep that out, fold, in pattern going out, fold, and in. Okay, now from here, we're gonna switch gears. So we're gonna come down. We're pressing the hands down. We're gonna put our feet onto the couch. If you're not comfortable with that and you have a bench, that works. But what we're gonna be doing is pressing up, doing a little bridge there. Maybe if you have a medicine ball, you can also use that. But honestly, I don't have one at home, and the goal is to make this convenient. Still going up and down. And the goal is to use your heels to press up and down. That's gonna be your main support system, as well as your shoulders and your hands. All right, so now we're coming off of the couch. We're gonna go back onto our mat. Starting in all fours, we're gonna get into our backwards presses. So these are just gonna be the pulses. We're going up and down. And maybe you wanna make sure you have that band on just so that we have something to add resistance. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot more challenging to try and just keep everything slow and controlled without the band. And so as we're here, notice I'm trying to keep my hips directly in front and towards the ground, so they're not really moving that much. Keeping everything tight, that's really gonna be the trick to make sure we're working into the glutes there. We're gonna switch to the other side and do the exact same thing. But I'm struggling at this point, making sure we're feeling good and loose. We're gonna get right back into it. So same idea. Left leg now. We're just gonna go up and down. And notice on this side, it looks like I'm trying to tilt the hips a little bit more. So make sure you're really working through pulling that tight core, and that's gonna help you to keep everything controlled. All right, so now we're gonna come up onto our knees. This time we're grabbing that weight, whether it's the sandbag, the dumbbell. What we're gonna be doing here is something that honestly was kind of like Tracy inspired, but not really. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm referring to Tracy Anderson. I feel like she is the GOAT, but also some of her moves are so interesting. So this one, we're just coming up and down, and notice I'm trying to twist through the obliques here. And that's the whole point of this movement. Really working into the core. We're getting into the sides as well, and that weight is just an added bonus. Honestly, if you have a more structured weight, this is gonna be a little bit easier because you have something that's easier to grip onto versus this sandbag. It's kind of annoying, but same idea. We're still going, just showing you a different angle. So I want you to be pressing through the hips, driving those back towards your heels, and that's what's going to get you that active motion. All right, coming down, we're gonna get into the last few movements that we have for this video. So we're gonna come up onto our toes. Then we're gonna slightly lift. Had to have a dance break, but we're gonna slightly lift. We're still bent over. We're not arching excessively. I want you to try and keep that back straight. I'm pulling into the core as you saw there, and we're just holding on our toes. I apologize that the camera cut this off. I thought I was in frame, but we're just holding and holding and holding. You should be shaking, and then we're gonna release it. We're gonna take a pause, and we're gonna go right back into it. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, hold it. Hold, hold. The key here is to focus on something that's on the ground, something that's not moving, something not too distracting, slightly in front of you, just so that way your eyes have something to balance and focus on. That's a trick I learned in dance. And release it. All right, we're moving on to our next move. So what we're gonna do is come down onto our elbows. We're gonna go into that plank position, making sure we're really putting the weight into those elbows there, and we're going side to side. Now, I'm obviously doing a little wonky. I want you to try and be as straight as possible. My booty is poking. But when you do that, that's gonna help you go side to side a little bit more effectively, work into those obliques, and we're really using those arms to ground us. Outside of that core and the hips, nothing else is moving. So I don't wanna see your arms going all over the place and wobbling. All right, we are nearing the finish end. So what we're gonna do is come back onto the other side. We're gonna take a diamond position, and from here, that means your toes are basically meeting at the front. We have a bend in the knees, and we're slightly away from the body. So instead of the typical triangle that we may be doing, you're just bringing them out a little bit more. And we're gonna just go with a single leg coming up and down. We're keeping in that bend, almost like that arabesque we did earlier. This is really gonna work into the inner thighs and also into that core. So really getting into that lower body there. Switching over to the left side, we're gonna do the exact same thing. This time you can see it a little bit better. So making sure we have that point in the foot, we're keeping that light bend so it's not all the way towards your body, but it's just slightly bent in. So that way you can really work into the inner thigh there and also into that core. Okay, now we're gonna switch into one of our final moves. We're going to our figure 4. So we can start with the left leg up, the right leg is gonna fold over, that foot is coming onto the ankle. We're pressing the knee outwards, and we're just gonna go down and up. This is gonna work into the lower part of the core. As you see, I just grabbed it, I'm trying to balance there. But then it's also gonna work a little bit into that outer thigh on the right side, just because we have it pressed open. Quick switch here, we're gonna just stretch it out, make sure we're not getting too tense. Especially when we have these cross moves like that, I want you to make sure that you're really not keeping all the pressure and intensity in one point. So same thing, we're coming down and up, really just having this drawbridge motion, and I love it because it feels good. It's not too extreme, but it's also really effective. All right, we got one more stretch and we're in our last move. So what we're gonna do is basically do the push-outs like we did before, but this time we're crossing and turning. So the body is gonna be going where the lower part is going the opposite direction. So think of pressing into the diagonal overhead. Everything else is staying grounded. So those shoulders, you're trying to keep them down. If you naturally are bringing that chin in the chest up, that's okay, but we're not fully curving into it. So just press it out and in and out. This is the perfect finisher because as soon as we're ready, we can just drop those legs. So we're gonna do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing job, y'all. I'm so proud of you for showing up for this class. I feel like this was a lot. Like this was a lot. So amazing job for sticking it out, for following through. Always come back to this workout, and I hope to see you again next time.